Really appreciate you all joining us this evening. Hope everyone had a fantastic holiday weekend with a bunch of food and family and friends. In case you are joining us for the very first time, the Foam Zone is a bi-weekly show that streams exclusively on the World Foam Alliance channel every other Wednesday, where we interview guests that are in the hobby and community. So if you have a club or you're a modder or creator, content creator, and you would like to be on the show, go ahead and message us and we'll be more than happy to get you on here at some point. Just to address the elephant in the room, as you can see, I am wearing an eye patch. To make a long story short, I somehow managed to get double vision in my eyesight. So I am wearing an eye patch, going to see doctors and specialists. The ones that I've seen already, we think it's some pressure building up behind the optic nerve, and once that pressure goes down, hopefully the vision will be returned. So until then, I will be going around looking like Nick Fury. So, just want to mention also, if you are viewing this live stream right now, to please like and subscribe. We have 18 people I can see that are currently viewing. So I'm hoping to see at least 18 likes, thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Also, please feel free to comment down in the live chat section with anything that you'd like to discuss. If you have any questions for our guests, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section, and we'll be asking some general questions throughout the show as well. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, also please, it takes a what's the saying? It takes a village to create a city. I'm not sure, but you know what I'm saying. It takes everyone collectively.
It takes a village.
There you go. So if you could go ahead and share this to all your friends and family and spread the word about the World Foam Alliance in general, that would be fantastic. Also, if you have not done so already, please register on the worldfoamalliance.org website, and also feel free to join the Discord. It's a lot of fun on there. Just to mention also, if you haven't heard already, we at the World Foam Alliance on December 9th, starting at 3 p.m., will be doing our first annual Foamsgiving live stream for charity, where we will be donating all the proceeds to Toys for Tots. We'll be having guests such as, of course, Al the Geek and Captain Xavier. Maritime Foam will be on there. We have Buff Daddy Nerf will be there. Griever, aka Lionheart Customs, Silver Fox, Silly Butts, if I didn't say that already, Gavin and Piggy from Singapore, Domacheski, and a bunch more. I'm sure I'm leaving out some people. I do apologize. And Dr. Flux. And we're still lining up some guests as well. So that should be a very fun stream for everyone to tune in. We'll be raffling off and auctioning off some prizes. And again, all the proceeds will be going to a good cause for Toys for Tots. So definitely stay tuned for more information regarding that. But that will be live streaming exclusively on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel on December 9th, starting at 3 p.m. for 24 fun-filled hours. Can't wait. So let's see. Oh, and also, if you are joining us, we have a very exciting announcement regarding Survival Fest. So stay tuned for that later on in the show. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our this evening's guest, who is a very good friend of mine, and they also will be one of the hosts on the 24-hour live stream, along with myself and Boomstick Mods for a segment. But this person you may or may not know, but again, they are a very close friend of mine. They are the founder of Women of Nerf. They are HypeTrain conductor extraordinaire, comp player, zombie Zed tagger extraordinaire, and as I said, a very good friend of mine. So without further ado, I would like to introduce and welcome our good friend, Archer the Nerfer.
How's it going to all my fellow nerds? I'm seeing a lot of energy within this chat, but I'm very, very happy to be here. Really excited to spread the energy and spread all the good vibes to all of you tonight. And yeah, can't wait to share a little bit about myself and the time that I've been in this hobby as of October. I've been in this for a decade, guys, and it's just, I blink and it's like, how on this earth did that even happen? And yeah, I can't wait to get to know some of you guys, keep this hype train rolling as always, and can't wait to release some new material for all y'all. Should be a good one.
Audience, before we get started, I meant to ask this before your introduction, so I do apologize. What Black Friday deals or blasters or gifts were you able to get for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? If you were able to snag something or a good deal, go ahead and comment down in the live chat section. But since we have Archer here, let's get started. Archer, you sort of started, but why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself again and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, no worries. So, my name is Sam Brandt, but all of you know me as Archer. And I am, if we're talking about what I do and who I am, if we're getting into a little bit more about me, because all of you know me for my ridiculous amount of beautiful energy, but I live in New Jersey and I work within the lighting, film, television, theatrical, most anything industry. A recent project that we just did, there was a big lighting install at Rockefeller Center. I pretty much was doing that for like 3 months nonstop. I've been doing that for about 8 years. I'm on track in becoming a firefighter. I volunteered for many years in my local community, and just giving back and volunteering is something that's really important to me. So I'm on track for doing that. And I find that the Nerf community just really encompasses that level of fitness for me, as well as, for as long as I've been doing it, just this newfound energy that I'd never had before. So yeah, I'm loud, I'm energetic. I am one of many people in my family who are Brooklyn Italians, loud, energetic, from the New York City area. And yeah, my partner, we've been dating for about like a year and change, and she's been incredibly supportive of the hobby. She's gotten to meet a few of the both Maryland and New York Nerfers that I regularly interact with, and they absolutely love her, unless there's something that they're not telling me. And it's just been great. I love learning new things every day, and I'm really thankful for the people old and new that have come into my sphere for it.
For sure, I've had the pleasure of meeting Shannon on a few occasions, and definitely good people, definitely in good company as well. So, there was something I wanted to mention, but I can't think of it.
It'll come.
It'll come back. Yeah, it's the eye. So tell us, how did you get introduced into the hobby? When did you start? Tell us a little bit about getting.
I got into the scene, to be honest, by accident. So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. It's a school based in North Jersey. I was adamant in going for film, and the fact that I still get to do that as a career is just mind-boggling. But yeah, so anyway, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson, and my freshman year, I had friends of mine, because freshman year, people totally know what they're doing. And they were playing this game called Humans versus Zombies. Now, at that time, it was 2 weeks long. So I'm walking around the campus, doing my thing, going to work, and people are just walking around with the gimmickiest, most ridiculous looking blasters. And I was one of those people who would watch and go, that is the silliest, most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. And I remember I was working a shift, and I guess I was just having like a really rough day. I don't know. I was just kind of like out of it. And I remember like a couple of my friends were coming into the athletic center because I was working the front desk, and they didn't just like waltz right in. They threw themselves in. They like one of them pulled their friends in and yanked them inside because we called when you had classes when you would change over. Any time of the day. And during that time, people were throwing themselves in. The zombies were outside, like, yeah, we'll go get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I remember just watching that, and something inside of me just was kind of like, what on earth are you guys doing? Like, that was kind of cool. And they were like, oh yeah, we're doing this humans versus zombies and blah 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 blah. You should do it next semester because it was like that Thursday. And I looked and I said, this is the dumbest, silliest thing I've ever seen, but I guess I'll try it. And whatever, I'll make my friends happy. Peer pressure for the win. So it comes into sophomore year. A lot of freshmen were part of these games in the fall semester because they couldn't rush for Greek life, what they wanted to do. And fortunately for me, I met this guy named Jesse Lab. And Jesse was a freshman, didn't know what he was doing. He was part of the herd of what's going on. He didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So he's like, I'm Jesse. I'm Sam. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're the captain? Oh, okay. I'll go with you and see what happens. And from that encounter to this day, we have been like, he's the little brother I never had. He's been there for me like through thick and thin. He's in a relationship now. He's doing really well. He comes out for HVZs whenever he can. He came out to Maryland Mayhem, and he's just like an incredible, wonderful person from that single interaction. And I just remember we did that, had a wonderful semester, and then it kind of just snowballed because I was like, okay, maybe I'll do another and another and another. And now we're 10 years later. So, so I just stumbled into it, and I don't see a reason to stop. So there you go.
Twice a week at UMBC for mini missions, 1 hour long missions on Mondays and Thursdays for HVZ. But and then of course we have the invitational in the springtime, which is part of Maryland Mayhem now. But it's always funny because you'll walk around with on campus with these blasters, and sometimes people got their tack gear on, but you're walking around campus with these silly blasters, and people that have no idea what is going on. They're always like,
"Oh my God,
what are you guys doing?" But I will say,
you want to join us?
Right. I will say that usually they follow up with, "How can I join?" So that's usually, yeah. So yeah, is my microphone better? I know people in the comment sections were saying I was a little bit blown out. I adjusted the level, so hopefully it's a little bit more tolerable now.
How is it for like? How is it for like? Are you ever around for like admitted students days? Because at FDU, those were my favorites. Whenever there was like an ambush, and they just stop the Tory students, and we just have a whole show for them, and then they would come the next semester. I don't know, especially UMBC, because that's like HBC's their bread and butter. So right. I don't know. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I mean, if I do recall, actually, Maryland Mayhem and this UMBC Invitational this past year was scheduled on the same day as New Student Day. Let's call us eccentric people walking around on campus at each other. And if you look at the footage, you might be able to catch some clips of people kind of like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I remember I had this one time and there was I'm good friends with this guy named Craig, right? He lives, funny enough, he lives in Virginia. He's a firefighter and we keep tabs on fire stuff. But we first became friends as frenemies when we did HVZ together in college, and he had like a second in command. His name was Talil, and Talil was just insane. He was so dead set in coming after me and tagging me out. And I remember I'm walking to class. It's like, it's kill hour, of course. So I'm walking to class, and my friend, who was my sweet mate, she comes and she's talking. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's like HBZ week," and I have my blaster. And all of a sudden, because this was a common thing at FDU, you just had people jumping like out of trees, literally pouncing on people. I don't know how there weren't lawsuits, but Talil pounced out of a friggin' tree, and this was in the middle of a crowd of folks. And I saw him, and I was like, "He's mine." It's a small, gimmicky, like 60 FPS, like bow blaster, and we had an entire, like a whole dance, like a little Mexican standoff. And people just cleared out. He went and he lunged, and I'm going like this. And I think I got him on the second dart. And I was so hyped, even from like the days before traveling, for our crazy hobby that we love. And then I remember just walking to class, and my sweet mate was just watching. She's just like, "So that's why you do it?" And I said, "Yes." All right, where's the next one? And from like that time on, you always had to be watching the trees, because if it wasn't someone's like doing a war cry out across campus, you had to watch every single tree because you were going to get pounced. It, it happened. It was a thing, and it was like some of my fondest memories of my time in this hobby for sure.
If you have a fond or favorite memory in the hobby, go ahead and leave that down in the comment chat section.
Mm.
Also, if you'd like to call in and talk to Archer, please call the number that is about to magically appear below or above. Sorry. There we go.
It's a
And
mighty nice
call in
number.
and yeah, there we go. And call in and chat with Archer. I'm sure she would love to hear from you, even if it's just to say hi or if you have some questions. So, also, if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to leave them down in the chat comment section. And also, as a reminder, please, if you haven't done so already, please give us the thumbs up like button. We now have 18 likes, but we have 25 people currently in the chat, so I think we can do a little bit better there. And also, if you haven't done so already, please register at the worldfoamalliance.org website and also join the Discord. So
Do it.
let us see. What would you say your overall approach and philosophy to foam flinging in general would be?
Oh, that's a that's a wonderful question. So from what I've noticed of the hobby, remember it's so cliche, but I feel like it's true within our hobby. Remember why you started, right? So I say that. So I see a number in the lobby. Do I take it? I see some call. No? Okay, never mind. So remember why you started, and I say that because sometimes, especially with the rapid growth that we have within this hobby, you forget, you kind of get lost in where you stand within the hobby. So sometimes I've seen people like take breaks from the hobby and then come back, or they kind of just, kind of take their time. They'll go to as many games all at once because burnout is a thing. And I feel that that's really important, because when you do that, number one, you miss the hobby and then you come back into it. And then number two, you gain that appreciation for the people within it. And yeah, I feel that blasters are really cool. And I mean, I'm staring at an SPF right now that I got like 2 weeks ago. And the blasters are great and amazing, but that core is extremely important.
Absolutely. So sounds like we have our first caller. Let's go ahead and get them on the line. Oh, apparently we're supposed to tell you to call back, caller, please, and we'll get you back on.
I was very hype. I saw
I was
her
too. I was excited
phone
for our
number
first
calling
caller,
in.
right?
Please call us back.
Now I'm curious who it was. The suspense is killing me. First time caller.
Ooh.
All right. Are they ready?
Is it Uno? Got some Uno.
Okay.
Get some Uno in the chat.
No worries. They must have hung up, but we'll see if we can get them back on the line.
Show me some love.
So you kind of already went over this a little bit, but really, what is it specific? Well, okay, I'm so sorry. Now we have the caller. Let's try this again.
Hold that thought for an hour.
There we go. Caller, hello. How are you? Who do we have?
Hey! It is Bots from Bots and Blasters. I was on Foam Zone last time.
Ooh.
Bots is in the house. How are you, buddy?
Welcome back, Bots.
Good. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm glad to have something fun to tune into. But yeah, I basically had a question for Archer. See, I got my girlfriend into the hobby, and then by proxy, she's the one who got me to help her make a Nerf club. And she said something recently, which was she noticed that in regards to females in the hobby, there's not a lot of them that are in positions of authority, at least in our area, because she's the president of our local club. What have you seen,
Right.
because you've been in the hobby, and you've been, I guess, around more places than I have.
Mm-hmm. So how do I feel about getting more women into positions of authority?
Yeah, but specifically, like in regards to the hobby, like for example, she's the president of our organization. Have you
Sure.
seen that be an issue in other places, in other clubs, so forth?
Yes.
So before you start, Archer, I will say this is the main reason I actually wanted to have Archer come on the show, actually, is to discuss women in the hobby. So we'll be discussing that at pretty great length, actually, in just a short bit. But go ahead, Archer. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, totally. So I'll keep the meat of it further into our chat. But to answer your question, have I seen people have issues with women and in those type of roles? Unfortunately, yes. And I know when I was running Women of Nerf, because I was head admin for that nonprofit. I can't tell you how many times I would have. I mean, when you had like bot accounts coming in, it's like, okay, I know who this is. Yeet them out of existence. But sometimes I would have people coming into the chat and they would just be like, why bother wasting your time? And I'm like, well, I can really yeet you out of existence. That's fine. And it's like, I don't know. I have this mindset where, and maybe this is the first responder mentality, where for me, it's kind of like I see these responses and people think they don't happen, but trust me, they do. I see these responses, I know how to filter through them, but when I see other women leaving the hobby because they're being, patronized for not having like the highest end of blasters, or they don't know a certain spec of 3D printing, or they're not able to come out and compete or play as much, and then they leave the hobby. It's when you're a woman within this hobby, you are a minority. Like, you're very much a minority, and I feel that when you give, and I'm sure she's had experience with this too, where when you give an opinion on something in a whole mass group of like guys, I'm not saying that everybody does it, but sometimes their opinion is not taken seriously. And maybe that's not something people want to hear, but that's what it is. And that's something that, I mean, I've been doing this. I told you all for as long as I've been doing it. I'm still struggling with that. And it's people want to believe that that's not a thing anymore, but unfortunately it is. And with Women of Nerf, I wanted to create this space where women could have a central spot to feel that their voices were heard as they were running events, or running larger scale events or virtual events or what have you, that they had this hub to go to that they couldn't express to their own local clubs or organizations. So I would say good on her for being the president of your club, because I'm sure even from like I'm sure, I don't know if you have kids that are part of your club, that she deals with parents that are like, shouldn't you be at home taking care of your kids? Because I'm not a parent yet, but I'm preparing for that conversation, because it's just, unfortunately, it's this whole the whole hierarchy of, like, women are expected to be home and taking care of the kids and not having as much time to be a part of this hobby that they love. And guys are able to have a bit more liberty. We're going to get more into that, but I just wanted to say good on her, and I can't wait to meet her one day, because I want to. I think she's doing a really good job. Right. Mm-hmm. And right. And it's what's really important too is having the woman, or any female player, if they have something to say, to hold it to the same merit as what any other opinion of anyone else has within your organization. Period. So that's so that's I can really get into it, but that's extremely important. So, and also, one person, if she wants somebody to talk to, and I know she was an admin for me with Women of Nerve, have her reach out to Kelsey Harmon. Kelsey Harmon is involved with PA Survival Fest, and we've been friends for a really long time. I would go out to invitationals at Penn State, and she's really been hustling when it comes to being an admin for various organizations. And she especially has a lot of experience in handling those types of situations. So that's a great person to contact for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. You guys have a great show. I'm enjoying it so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bot. That was a great question, and like I said, my goal is to kind of get into that discussion in depth, in more detail, coming up rather shortly, actually. But yeah, it's representation of females in the hobby is definitely a discussion that needs to be had, and how can we get more involvement? Because the people, the females that are involved are absolutely fantastic and contribute, and I definitely think there can be steps taken that we can definitely get that goal accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
So again, thanks for your call, bots. If anyone else would like to call in, go ahead and call the number that will be flashing momentarily.
Do this again.
And also, if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to drop them down in the comment section. But if your group, a club, or anything has females in the hobbies, let us know where that is, and maybe we can grow that part of the community together, which would be fantastic. So we had talked a little bit about, what kind of attracts you to the hobby in general. What specifically do you love about it? I know you kind of touched upon that a little bit earlier, but what do you really absolutely love, and what attracts you to the foam flinging community?
The people. That's
For sure.
I classify myself as your lovable amateur modder. So I mean, the blasters are just the ingenuity of different blasters that are coming in. Like every 5 minutes, I feel like there's some new bit of technology that's coming into our hobby. But for me, it's I mean, I could run around with a Jolt and still have the time of my life because of the people that I've gotten to know over the years. And especially this year, I'll give you an example. Andrew, you're pretty familiar industry wise, but I work in film and television, and the strikes were going on. That didn't affect me at all, and I say that in sarcasm. That was a really difficult time. It just it was a lot. And I managed through the year, and I kind of handled it as best I could, but it was hard. And I really gained an appreciation for the events that I was able to go to, because my happiness is so linked to them. And it again, it comes down to the people. And I even got to a point where I was like, it was around like May time, where I didn't have time with this job that I hated to be nerfing at all. And so I reached out to Jed, right? Because Jed and I are good friends. And, he had gotten hurt, and then I was injured, and I know that he was running like in the city, and I was just like, I want to come out and let's make this happen. And I just want to see your faces. Like, it wasn't even like nerf at all. It was just, I want to see the people that I care about, and just gain some familiarity, you know what I mean? And that was one of the best decisions that I made of this past year. Now, the three of us, it's like Jed Gotham and I, we get together, we hang out, and we go and, we do our thing. And they're nerfers in the hobby, but it's them as people. And again, like others I've gotten to know, and Jesse and Kelsey, and the list goes on, Andrew, you, that really kind of motivated me to go about with the rest of the year in pursuing new material, a new job. And I don't think people realize the fun and amazing people that are part of this hobby, how that translates into other parts of our lives. And that is your hallmark of the day, but it's true. And I'm very thankful for it, because I don't know where I would be without this community.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. Just in case you guys don't know, Jed Contra, who is also part of the Uno club, Jed Contra, and also one of the organizers for TNT events. So definitely check them out, along with Gotham, who you mentioned as well. Great guys. And it's funny because we've all have hung outside of the Nerf of foam flinging as well. So it's kind of funny how this brings people together beyond foam flinging.
I love the Nerf wars, but I don't know about you, Andrew, but my favorite part of any event is after.
Going out to Applebee's.
Oh my God. Uno, Applebee's, mobbing the Chinese buffet at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And again, shout out to, looks like Kelsey's getting a lot of love in the group chat. So Kelsey's also a good friend, and definitely someone everyone should have the privilege of meeting. So shout out to Kelsey, aka Pandora. And like I said, we'll be making a announcement regarding Survival Fest within the next half hour. So definitely stay tuned. Yeah, I mean, you and I, we're relatively in some regards. We both work in film and video. We met, I want to say, at Southern Maryland House of Nerf was the first time we actually met. But we've attended events in New Jersey and in the Maryland area, and our relationship has evolved pretty quickly, actually. I want to say, since we met in 2020, and I think at some point the Maryland people were looking for a place to crash when we were heading up to Jersey, and you graciously offered to be a host. And now every time we head up to Jersey, we're crashing at your place. Yours and Romeo. Romeo's your cat. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's funny how things evolve and turn out the way they do, for sure, as a result of this community. So let's talk a little bit about Sub-Zero, as we were talking about women, being the head and organizing things. And you are actually one of the organizers for this event, Sub-Zero, that's going to be taking place January 6th.
Yeah, that's right. So I am the social media marketing chair extraordinaire for Sub-Zero. I went up to Midsummer in July. Not a fully planned out trip, was super last minute. But it was one of those events that I hadn't gone to in a while, so I went up. And John Rockwell and I, we were talking about competitive, right? Flower City Fallout was there, and I hadn't really had much of a chance to talk to them and hang out, and so we did. And he was telling me about this event that he wanted to put together. And he was like, oh, I want to do like a winter battle, winter PvP, kind of get that going. Would you be interested? And I remember in the moment, I was like, yeah, I'll go. And, Ithaca in winter, let's see what happens. And now, we started having admin meetups and chats and really starting to put it together. And then I realized that with all this time that I had had an admin experience online, this is my first event as a in-person game admin, because the last time we tried in doing that was Women of Nerf. We were trying to have meetups and like regular get-togethers, and then COVID happened, so there was that. But some information on Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is an indoor Nerf event held at the YMCA of Ithaca in Tompkins County. It's up in Ithaca, New York on January 6th. It's going to be a nighttime event. You're going to want to get accommodation. It's from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. 150 FPS event in benefit of the Liam Mattingly Scholarship. Interesting story with Liam. So for me, unfortunately, I never got the chance to know him personally, but for the guys up at RIT, he was like huge. It still has such a powerful influence on the guys up at RIT. He started the PvP club up there. He was starting to get competitive up and running, and then unfortunately he passed away. RIT has a scholarship in his honor, and we're basically raising funds to contribute to that scholarship, and we're doing it through a PvP event because that is what he started. And the admins that I'm working with have really gotten to know him, and we've worked really hard in putting this together. And I'm just really excited because I'm really involved with social media. I've gotten to know my connections over the years, and it was just another outlet to spread the hype. Got to keep that hype train, right? And it's HypeTrain. We see that hype train. But yeah, it's gonna be run by a bunch of New York veterans, me, New York, New Jersey, however you want to call it. And we, last I checked, are 11 tickets to sold out. And we are over a month away. That is unreal. And I'm very excited. And we are doing some announcements of game types that we have planned for the evening. We have inflatables. We have prizes that were generously donated to us. So be on the lookout for some raffle announcements with that. If you wish to donate, say you're not able to make it, if you want to donate, you can join our Discord, and we have a Cheddar Up link. That's the site that we're using to generate our ticket sales, and you can donate directly to his scholarship. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've been learning a lot, and everybody's been really generous in this community. And going back on what I really love about this hobby, people are so generous, right? We have, I mean, you said it yourself, like, the World Film Alliance is having your toy drive. We have Joy of Socks. I hope I'm saying that right. That's in honor of Corbett, who passed away. He's, definitely a local here within the New York tri-state area. And just there's so much generosity within this community. And as I've said earlier, that's a core value of mine. So it's really cool getting to see that and having everybody coming together towards a common good. I just think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I had the pleasure and honor of actually seeing Liam compete at the Dart Zone Foam Pro Tour back in 2022.
All those guys are so good. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Fall City and Radioactive.
Yeah.
Fantastic teams, and hope we get to see more of them compete as the competitive scene continues to grow. So, so you said you have 11 tickets left. How much are tickets? And if you want to donate to the fund, where can people do that?
Tickets are $15. We are selling raffle tickets for the prizes that have been generously donated. I picked up a prize from Al the Geek, and it is sick. So I cannot wait to go and announce those prizes. We have Red Cowl, who has made a generous donation. Containment Crew has donated a seagull. So you got a seagull up for a raffle. You have Brains Blasting Leather, who is a nerfer up within that area. They're going to be making a donation as well. And we have cover that's been donated. Actually, the guys that were Rochester Radioactive, their Dart League, the Rochester Dart League, they have donated their cover towards this event. And I think that's really amazing. We got that. We got RPI. We got many locals within the area are reaching out to help in making this happen. And that's really great. But yeah, $15. You can buy your raffle tickets online as well. I'm not sure where I can put it on here, but yeah, we have our Cheddar Up link. And if you can't make it, donations, you could make a donation through the link as well, which is very much appreciated.
Awesome. Well, let's see. Yeah. So again, if you are going to be attending Sub-Zero, go ahead and drop a comment down in the live chat section. I'd love to see a little preview of who may be attending, or even if you want to attend, love to see that you'd like to attend. Also, just friendly reminder, please give us the thumbs up. I know we had 38 people in the stream at some point, so was hoping to see 38 thumbs up likes down on the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to register on the worldfoamalliance.org website and join the Discord. And I'm not sure, I forgot to mention, we are doing a giveaway, actually 2 gives this evening, and we will be giving away Dart Zone solos. And we will be doing two contests. One will be a trivia question pertaining to this live. And also, we will be doing our catchphrase contest. So we will let you know what the catchphrase is. You're going to go ahead and comment down in the live chat section, and we will pick a winner at random, and we will send you out a Dart Zone solo, which is a fantastic fun blaster. I'm sure you guys have already seen the mods that have been coming out for it. I have one. I got one immediately, and yeah, it's great for HVZ or great for pistol rounds. It's just it's a lot of fun. It's a
Jesse nailed me in the head with that, and it was a terrific shot. It's worth the money.
On the comp field?
I mean, he could if he really wanted to.
That's funny.
Nobody's surprised at this point.
That's funny. Also, again, if you would like to call in and chat with Archer, please call in. We'll post the phone number up again there for you. Maybe we can leave it down in the chat section as well. You can copy and paste. But let's talk about clubs, club play, where you actually play. I know we had talked about New Jersey and Maryland, so talk about the clubs that you play at.
So I am a frequent at with the United Nerf Ops. Love those guys. And I play almost as much with the MDFA. I just in the midst of my travels and whatnot, I'm almost as frequent as with United Nerf Ops. You guys with them, it's like I feel like it's almost exactly the same. And then whatever random events I find myself committing to, because why not? I know Sub-Zero was obviously like an impromptu thing, and I'm very happy I went because now I have another event to look forward to. I went down for the Atomic Dart League 3v3. That was a wonderful time. Very last minute flight. The Caves War, when I went over to Foam Fest, that is definitely a highlight experience for me. Spectre was really, really hyped to take me over there, and it was completely worth it. I believe for us, we went to another war as well to kind of, pack in on the trip, but definitely for Caves War, this was like a 7-hour road trip, and that was just, I commit to events, and then here I am. But the United Nerf Ops is my regular crew, guys I ride with. And then you guys are at a close second.
Yes, we are no stranger to Archer down here in Maryland, for sure. And we've been known to. That's right, you were in, and we've been known to visit some Korean barbecues during the off time when we're not flinging foam at each other.
Fun fact, I was in DC for a work trip. I reached out to Boomstick because we're all good friends. I was like, "Yo, you want to hang out?" And then Dark Sweep came in, and now we're all chilling. So yeah, definitely.
So I think the question that I really want to ask, and I think everyone is interested in finding the answer out to, is where did the name Archer come from?
Jesse's in the chat. He better not blow this. So Archer is actually short for a longer name that I had in college. So I was getting into obviously my whole story from earlier within the stream, but I was getting into the HVZ, and after I would say like after that fall semester, I was like, I'll kind of go with this and see how I ride with it. And people seem to really like me in having this blaster that I was the only person running around with a bow, and I had some kind of skill behind it. This was a Rebel crossbow, by the way, so you're talking like full darts and 60 FPS. But I made it basically to the end of the week somehow for my first go, and so by that spring semester, I was like, I'm going to try and come up with a name for myself. I'm not a nerd. And so I came up with the Texas Archer, right? Because I was really into Daryl Dixon and The Walking Dead at that time, because this was totally the same thing. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be my trade name and it's going to be great. And so I go about that spring semester and I go off of this name, right? And then it gets into the fall semester. Jesse's calling me the Texan Archer. And I'm like, cool, that works. The Texas Archer, great. And then we get into the fall semester. Yeah, the fall semester I didn't play because I studied abroad. And of course, that was the best game. But then that following semester, people just kept calling me Archer for short. Like if they needed me quick for something, they'd be like, Archer, get here. Archer, come on over, watch your six. And so I would go, and then this would be like the Great Lawn, which is huge. And they'd be calling me across the way. And I'm like, okay, I don't think anything of it. Because I'm used to calling like, oh yeah, the Texas Archer, yeah, he's coming in. But by the end of the game, I was kind of like, I was responding to Archer more than I was of the full name, just because it was easier. And then by the end of the semester, I was just like, I'll ride with this and just see what happens. And I had to kind of earn it because, I couldn't just make up a name and then that was that. And so I think I went about another semester before our game got shut down, unfortunately. But that semester kind of earned my name within this little community that we had on campus. And people just kept calling me that anytime HVZ came around at FDU. And then that last semester, unfortunately, they were trying to shut down our club. And that's when the admin side of me got like really active, and I was really speaking on behalf of like the players and my friends and this whole new community that I really loved. And also it was my last semester of college. So I thought, this is it. This is the end of, my road as a nerfer. But then fortunately Penn State came around and I heard about the invitational, and then I saw like 400 plus nerds. And then I started traveling doing that whole bit. But that last semester, people just kept calling me Archer. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go with it, see what happens. And then I introduced people when in my travels as Archer at Nerf games. And then it just stuck and it went through. And now I have this reputation. And yeah, it's stuck around and it's pretty amazing. I wouldn't want to be anybody else.
So literally because you were a Nerf Archer, we call you Archer now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I had bows as my blaster of choice for like the first 5 years. I didn't get a modified anything until 2018 when apparently I won a contest from Nattown Nerf and I had no idea. He comes up to me and I'm at the Women of Nerf table and he has it on footage, like it's on his YouTube channel. And he's like, here's a modded blaster. Here you go. It was like a modded Rebel crossbow strife integration that I still have and I still love and it still works. And yeah, then after that I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing modified now. But I was stock bows only for years. So You put a bow in my face, I will drop what I'm doing and I will use it for the round because I am a sucker like that. Bows are so underrated, it's ridiculous.
I definitely have footage of you rocking some bows for sure. So I think at this point, what I would like to do is I'd like to open up the first giveaway contest. So we will be doing a trivia contest. First caller to call in and give the correct answer will win themselves a Dart Zone solo. So, you will have had to been watching the stream for a good bit to know the answer. But the question is going to be, and I do think I mentioned this earlier, but what is the name of Archer's cat? What is the name of Archer's cat? So if you know the answer,
waiting for this chat to blow up.
Call in. First one to call in with the correct answer will win yourselves a Dart Zone solo. May the odds ever be in your favor.
General Strife, bows are the bomb.
What happened?
I'm seeing the comment. Bows are all right. Nah. Bows are the bomb. Thebomb.com.
Excuse me.
Yes, what is the name of my cat? I'm intrigued to know who knows.
I know everyone is like going streaming or scrolling back on the stream to try to find the answers. So we do have a caller. So let's get this caller on and see if they have the answer. Hello, caller. Who do we have?
Hello?
Hello. Who do we have on the line?
This is Mia, UMBC, HVZ, and MDFA.
Mia,
hey, stranger.
how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. So glad you can join us. Now, do you know the answer because you were watching the stream, or do you know the answer because you know Archer?
I know the answer because I know Archer.
To be fair, I did see her like 3 days ago.
I've been watching from the very beginning, too.
Man behind the curtain, should we allow it? All right. We are going to let you enter this contest. We just got the thumbs up. So, Mia, what is the name of Archer's cat? Because you've been watching the entire stream.
Archer's cat's name is Romeo.
Ding, 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 ding. Woo! We have a winner. Nice. All right, Mia, congratulations. I actually have your info, so I will get you your Dart Zone solo to you. So I'll DM you. But we also have another caller, so let's get that caller on the line as well.
Boy.
Hello, caller. Who do we have? Oh, I'm sorry. They hung up, apparently.
Call us back.
They were like, Mia won the Dart Zone solo. There's no need to call, so no worries. Well, like I said, we will be doing another giveaway towards the end of the show or later on in the show with the catchphrase. You're going to go ahead and type in the catchphrase, and we will randomly pick a winner, and you will have the chance to win another Dart Zone solo. So, so now that we know how your name came about, and we've already discussed a little bit about women in the hobby, let's talk about women in the hobby. So tell us about Women of Nerf and how that got established and everything involved, and then we'll elaborate just, on the state of women in foam flinging in general afterwards.
Yeah, so I founded Women of Nerf. Women of Nerf is, we still have our Facebook up and running. We have a members only page. We have our Discord and whatnot. But Women of Nerf is a nonprofit dedicated to the women empowerment within the foam flinging community, right? It was founded in 2017, and I would say it had a very solid 4 years running. And with Women of Nerf, we had representation of over 200 members, I apologize, across 7 countries. And this was during a time where Singapore and Malaysia and all these countries were just starting to get more of their members, particularly women within the hobby. So Women of Nerf came in, and then we had representation across the United States, obviously Germany, the UK, things like that. And it was really nice, as I had mentioned earlier, where part of the reason why I created this was because I would go to these events, and as much as I would have a fabulous time, I noticed that sometimes women wouldn't be taken seriously. So say like they're put onto a squad, right? Their ideas on the course of action would not be taken seriously because they're not amongst like the majority, or their opinion will just be completely passed over. So in making this club, essentially it was a dedicated space for women to kind of share their stories and empower each other so that we could build more growth within the community, particularly obviously female representation. And I found, as comp came to be in 2019, at least for me, I in my opinion, comp really came in for 2018. In 2019, competitive continues to grow and has gotten better, but I feel that with competitive, sometimes our opinions are not, with strategy, are not always taken into account. And Women of Nerf was really cool because you had these members that would come in, and it was comp started to come in, and then you had members who adamantly were like, I will not do comp because it's too serious, it's too intimidating, and I'm not taken, my views are not taken seriously. But then you had other women who were like, yeah, I really want to go and be more involved and up my fitness, and I want to do this with my friends and see what the hype is all about. Beef Squad, obviously, I'm up in the Northeast, but the Beef Squad is based down in Southeast US. And I know Ashley is with Beef Squad. She's been with them for a while, and she's a perfect example. She regularly rides with them. She plays with them. I think Beef Squad is one of the most consistent squads as far as competitive teams goes, and she's killing it. So she's definitely a good example of sticking with her crew. But that's also because they have backed her up as well. Like they're all good friends, at least from what I've seen, and she's been doing really well because of it. So yeah, that's how I feel with that. The reason why for Women of Nerf, we had a bit of a falling out, not falling out, that's the wrong word. It was hard to keep up with events when COVID came around, right? All of you, I'm sure, really understand how difficult that was. But with Women of Nerf, we were pretty much online. And I've spoken with game admins and other regular season veterans. And one of the biggest things that have kept members within their organizations was physical consistency, right? And with Women of Nerf, it was hard. Around 2021, I was dealing with a personal situation that kind of left me out of the fold in regularly running Women of Nerf. And, I had to move. I had to get out of that whole situation. Those who know me know that situation. And I think when I moved, I wanted to kind of start anew, not abandon Women of Nerf, obviously, because it's extremely important having that representation, but I wanted to take what I had started and expand it into something bigger. And we're going to get into that. But as far as the foundation of Women of Nerf, where it's grown, how much it has expanded to representation with admins, with players, and folks within our community. I take a step back, and I'm really proud of just what I saw from the beginning and how much it has grown since then. We have a lot more room to grow for sure, but just seeing that growth from start to where we are now is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to discuss this definitely more in detail and expand on this. But right now, I think what we need to do is we have a very exciting announcement from the Survival Fest team, Michael Lasik and Kelsey Harmon. For those that left the chat early, or left the live stream early, they're going to be very disappointed because this is some very exciting news. You heard it here first on the Foam Zone World Foam Alliance live stream. But let's go ahead and make this announcement. Let's play that video.
Roll it.
Roll it.
Roll in. Died, maybe? Something's going on.
Yeah, we might not be able to hear it, but it might be on the screen.
Seen some hype going on, so something's happening. Cannot begin to tell you how excited I am to see this.
Yes, so I'm on the image. We are
You're
on the
famous.
image. So yes, everyone that was able to stick around and is still on the live stream, you've seen it here first exclusively on Foam Zone on the World Foam Alliance
Penn State.
YouTube
Penn
channel.
State.
Survival Fest will be at Penn State for 2024, which is extremely exciting because I think everyone knows what that location has to offer and the organizers behind it.
Everyone needs to go.
Yeah, definitely highly recommends. Definitely going to be one of the premier events, large-scale events of the 2024 season. So.
Oh yeah.
For more information, you can find out more on their Discord channel as well as their Facebook page. I do believe they may have a website as well, but also they'll be posting videos and more information on their YouTube channel as well. So very excited for Survival Fest 2024 at Penn State.
Penn
Ow!
State.
All right.
So Andrew,
Awesome.
what you're saying is you're going, right?
I definitely will be there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be there too, right?
Possibly.
Possibly. That's the wrong answer.
I am. That is the wrong answer. I'm going to be in Ohio, so timing should be fun.
Yeah.
But it's go back to the homeland. Like
That's right.
It's the mothership.
That's right. So let's go back to discussing about representation in the hobby, because when I first got into it, I actually found your YouTube channel, and then you ended up showing up at Southern Maryland House of Nerf event, and I remember specifically the very first thing I said to you was, "Love your content, keep up the great work." And at that point, I think really the only representation publicly we kind of had was Addie and Michelle, running Foam Blast and doing the the biweekly news update.
Yeah.
And
at
this point, we have clubs and kids will come, and at least in the Maryland area at Southern Maryland House of Nerf, there's definitely a good split of kids ages 7 to 12, where it's both male and females, boys and girls, and
Right.
even their parents, the moms will get in and go hard sometimes. But generally speaking, there is definitely definitely a difference between how many females participate, especially in PvP, like the club events. Like I feel like
Right.
HVZ, since you're on a college campus and it's kind of like a social aspect of it, you'll definitely find females in that space. But when it comes to like the clubs and everything like that, we don't see a lot of that. Why do you think that is? And how do you think we can work together to get more females involved?
Mm-hmm. So I mean, and you're probably gonna, I know your response is gonna be like, you're a baby. But I'm a 30-year-old woman, right? And this was something that Shannon and I, in the beginning of us dating, like this was a very quick conversation. We were very like, we're two 30-year-old women. Like, do we want kids? Like, having a family, having those like real life conversations. And one of those things, being a woman is like, are you going to have kids, right? And there are women that are, that are members with Women of Nerf, but I see as members, they're not nerfing anymore. And part of the reason why is because, if they go and they have kids, up, that's it. They're done, with the hobby. They're going and like raising the kids and having the family. And I see these members, and I'm happy for them. Don't get me wrong, but there's this societal expectation, and this is outside of our not just our hobby, but just as a culture as well. Women are still expected to be the caretaker, right? Whereas guys, I mean, you folks know much better than I do, where you're expected to kind of take care of the family. Fortunately, we've gotten to be more progressive compared to, even just 10 years ago. But it's hard because, you'll go to family parties and people be like, oh, why are you still doing this Nerf thing? My own sister, my mom for a while have gone to me and been like, you really need to start, taking this seriously. Why are you, still in this hobby? Like, you're wasting your time. Like my sister was like, you're wasting your time with this thing that you love, right? And fortunately for me, maybe because I'm stubborn, right? Where if someone tells me something that I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And Shannon's the same way, so that's how we mesh really well. But for a lot of folks, that's really hard. You have your time and then that's that. Then you just kind of up and leave and you yeet yourself out. And then the other bit I would say is, especially as we get into this space of 3D printing and comp and blasters that are getting into near paintball levels, is intimidation, right? There are tournaments now where I look and I get a little intimidated by the teams myself. And I've been in the game for a fair bit, right? And it's just, it's these blasters that are loud and scary and like a big pew pew. Um, and for a lot of women, it's just if you don't know how to approach that, it's really intimidating. Plus the fact that there's very little representation already, and they're like, I don't see the point. I'm going to go do something else, right? So, and I'm proud of where the hobby has gone, but it's hard when you have those two factors mixed together, and depending on the teammates that you have or the people, like the squads that you run with, if you have even just that one person who doesn't take you seriously, that will make you second guess. So it's hard. And I mean, for me, I've really learned and grown over the years, and I've had really good people like back me up, and I have a really supportive partner who backs me up in all these like games and different events that I go to. But it's just, I feel that if there was any bit of advice that I could say um for recruiting more women into the hobby, I would say I would invest in more outreach, to be quite honest with you. Travel, I emphasize to the nines when it comes to travel and representation. And that's how we kind of came to be. I'm up in New York. Beforehand, I would have no real reason in coming down to Maryland. I came down to Maryland my first time. I came down to Smithon in 2018 and in a completely different, set of leadership. But from then to now, it's like I've committed to that travel, but not everyone is always able to. So I feel that there are more table events that happen. Going to I know Maryland, you guys do a great job where you go out to you guys go to maker spaces. You go to the fair every year, right? Where's the local fair that you guys go to?
Yeah, we do the Charles County Fair every
Right.
year.
Right. And then you reach out, and granted it's kids, but still that type of outreach. We reach out to families on the military base that you guys go to. Investing more of that outreach is extremely important, right? The more frequent that people are able to see women involved and have it be seen as, hey, maybe this is something I could try. Maybe this is something that's, not, such a foreign concept. It's going to promote those ideas, those gears to turn and be like, huh, maybe I should keep at this and see what happens. Maybe I could get a whole group of my friends to try this and see what happens. So I think that's what I would say as far as promoting more women into the hobby. But then say you get somebody, right? After that, you get somebody into the hobby. Cool, that's great. Awesome. She's trying to go put herself out there, get herself onto a squad or make a squad or whatever. How do you keep that retention? Because that's the other half of the equation. If you don't have the retention, then it doesn't matter. For that, and this is something that I've learned this year, and that's honestly just finding your tribe. And that's a constant thing, right? Having that core group of folks who are gonna back you up. And I'm not talking just in Nerf too. Like, sure, you meet in Nerf, but I'm talking in your life as well, right? Your friends know, or that core tribe that you have, they know what's going on behind the scenes and they're still there for you. Like, they barely even flinch, you know? That was really important to me this year. And I know there were years past where that was really important, and that 100% has kept me into this hobby. So, and I think I could speak that, I can't speak for all minorities, but for any minority or any group of people, that's really important. But for women, just to show that, hey, you're there for them off the field and not, is priceless. And it just shows that they're not going to go anywhere.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, what I see a lot of the times, especially in the Maryland area, like I said, HVZ is a different thing because it's on a college campus and it's social aspect of it. But
they're consistent, and I'm going to go on that for a second. They're consistent. Not every campus is able to do that, but fortunately, UMBC has been great with that. But look at their representation of trans women. Look at their representation of LGBT. They are consistent. Folks have come through and said, maybe I should give this a try.
Yeah.
And now here you are. You have all these comp teams and people who regularly hang out.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
I mean, what do you think about, guys, males, that bring their girlfriends or significant others and introduce them in the hobby? We love Bree. You mentioned Ashley. We just don't see a lot of people that do it on their own. I guess Ashley does do it on her own with Beach Squad, but what can we do besides, you mentioned outreach, but what else can we do to get people that may not, females that may not know that the space exists and that they should give it a try? We had discussed at some point an all-female comp team, which I would love to see, and I was hoping to see at the Maryland Foam Tournament this year. But things like that. Like, what are some ideas that you think we can explore? And if you're watching in the live chat and you have suggestions, how do you think we can have more outreach and get more females and women involved in the foam flinging community and hobby?
I don't believe that they have had the event rescheduled yet, but I know TNT was going to go to a table event for related fields, and maybe I'm butchering my facts, but they were going to go to an event for 3D printing and getting into similar fields and then just kind of tying what they do into it. So going to more table events that are of 3D printing or of STEM, or finding ways that you could reach out to schools and much smaller communities. That's a great way to expand on that outreach. And That's the outreach is probably the biggest thing
Yeah.
that I would say. And then I guess the other bit would be there seems to be this is not so much a female thing. This is just more a societal thing that all of us have faced in this hobby. Kind of promoting language, right? Is saying blasters, saying darts, because there are folks who still think that we promote guns, and it's like, no, not at all. So I would say tying it into language as well, right? You say that uh, you want to support women and you want to be there for women. You need to put it within your language. You need to be there for us in a way where it doesn't come off as, so intimidating, right? And if you put it through the language where it becomes commonplace, then to us it's just like, all right, let's give it a try and see what happens. And sometimes maybe you'll have women who do it and then they don't do it, and then they're like, oh well, let me try it back again and see what happens. But that would be another thing that I would probably suggest. Getting more women, encouraging more women into positions of administration, positions of authority. That is a huge one. That is something that I'm actually working on myself. I've been doing this for 10 years, and January will be my very first game admin event, right? I'm working with the Uno guys and I've been with them for a while. And I really want to be an admin and help, support their logistics and the way that they run their games. I'm still working with them on that. But it's taken me 10 years to do that, right? Because I didn't have, speaking for me, I didn't have somebody going and pushing and saying, you can do this, right? And I'm going to back you. I'm going to support you to make sure that you have everything you need to make that happen. So yeah, language and outreach.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think those are fantastic points and suggestions. And, we all collectively, doesn't matter if you're women or men, but we all collectively can work towards those goals of outreach and having this dialogue and language to make it appealing and just say, hey, this is a really fun time and these are really good people. It's super inclusive, or at least we like to think that. And I do believe we are, compared to a lot of other things that are out
100%.
there.
Yeah.
And, I think if we all work together, we definitely can expand, not just to women, but people that just in general just don't know anything about the hobby and that we exist. And that's kind of the goal, I think, of the World Foam Alliance in general. So, but again, if you guys have suggestions or any recommendations on how we can get more participation from women, go ahead and drop that down in the live chat. We would love to see what your thoughts are, and let's all work together to make it happen. It definitely is achievable for sure. One thing that is unique, like I said, as far as representation goes, is I feel like you and Foam Blast really kind of the only content creators, I want to say, that I was really fully aware of. So let's talk a little bit about content in general. You run a YouTube channel. We both do similar content of highlight videos and gameplay footage, and reviews. So tell us a little bit about how you got into that content creation space.
So when I was in high school, right, and when I was pursuing film, like this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life, I really enjoyed making videos and making movies and doing the videos that you look back on and you just absolutely cringe. And I got more involved within the hobby and all these crazy wacky adventures I find myself in. And I wanted to get a GoPro because, obviously everyone and their mother has a GoPro now. And I just wanted to kind of contribute to the space because I wasn't really giving my perspective at the time. I believe I'd have to look at the timeline. I believe my channel was coinciding with Women of Nerf. I think Women of Nerf was a little older at the time. But I wanted to add, create videos again. And I wanted to kind of show my perspective of, kind of like my wacky nature with the energy that I have. Like it's pretty, pretty much a dime a dozen. You don't see it very often at all. And I wanted to show that, and I wanted to share that with the space because, why not? While I can still do it. And yeah, then it kind of evolved into the more you go and do it, the more you develop in how you're making your videos and the type of audience you're trying to appeal to. And I feel, fortunately for me, it hasn't been super serious. If it is at all, it's like my longer videos. So I did Road to FPT, right? Foam Fest was a big one, but that was a trip that took 3 years in the making just to get there. That's probably, if it's ever like reflecting back and, kind of feeling sentimental, that's probably the most sentimental I'm going to get. But other than that, it's pretty, wacky and silly and just me gallivanting on my adventures, right? And I don't know, I wanted to contribute to the community and I'm having a great time with it. And it's also nice to look back on as well. Like I look back on the lighting from my very first video and it's just like, oh, good God, like what on earth is that? And then I look to now and it's like, wow, Midsummer was a really great trip. That Blue and I got along like we had such a great time. Blue and I, we shared the same campsite and it was amazing. So, yeah, and it's just kind of snowballed from there, including my new content, and which I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah, if you guys don't know already, your Archer's YouTube channel is Archer the Nerfer. So if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and do that.
Do it.
And also, you just really have a lot of fun content, and I think that's kind of the same approach I try to take. Is I just want to share how much fun this community and hobby is, and not so much necessarily focus on myself as a creator or content creator, but kind of share and showcase the fun and enjoyment others are having with the experience of foam flinging. So definitely check out Archer the Nerfer's YouTube channel and subscribe. Again, if you guys would like to call in and talk to Archer, you can call in at the posted phone number that is magically appearing above at some point, and call in and chat with Archer. Do you have any tips for anyone that is trying to do content creation?
Okay, so it's kind of like finding your loadout, right? Like the way that you prefer to roll. Find your flavor, right? So there are folks that are dedicated into comp and dedicated into analysis. Jang, I mean, we all know Jang's videos. He is top notch with that. Whereas for me, it's like you're never gonna see me with a GoPro on a comp field of any tournament. It's never gonna happen. TNT is probably the closest you're gonna get, and even then, it's probably something wacky and silly and just doing my thing. But I knew that kind of coming in, So in 2016, and we're talking Archer lore, so I'm going to give you some more lore out here. 2016 was the dawn of HypeTrain because I went out to NVZ and it was hot and it was Missouri and my parents didn't know I was out there. It was one of those hush hush type trips. And I had like a small like group of just these people that I had met. And I kind of took my camera and I went and I was like, HypeTrain, woohoo! And there must have been like 9 of us, something really small. And from there, I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. That was a lot of fun. Something to kind of reflect and look back on. And it was something wacky and it was a great time. And then come End War, I wanted to do the same thing. I went, I was like, oh yeah, HypeTrain, we're getting ready for End War, woo! so it was just wacky, that whole lively nature, right? And then I wanted to do it every year and kind of see if it snowballed and kind of created its own effect. None of that is super serious, right? Like, and especially as somebody who, believe it or not, really struggles with self-confidence, none of that is super serious. Like, all the energy that I give is just like, it's natural and it's pure and it's just utter excitement. And I try to translate that into my content because it's just like, I'm having such a great time. I hope you guys are too. Ah, my God, that was crazy. Um, but I know that, right? Everybody's different, right? So really discover what your flavor is, how you can comb through that and translate that onto social media, YouTube, Spotify, what have you. And then, you know, showcase what you love, man. The life's too short, and the world is, a bit of a rough place right now. So we need a bit of love, Show us what you're good at, show us what you love.
Absolutely. And I will say, I probably have you to thank partially for myself and Boomstick Mods being such close friends at the time. I just become a admin for the Maryland Nerf Herders along because Boomstick Mods had asked me to. But you had asked to do a HypeTrain video and have us send you footage. So yeah. So Booms and my friendship really kind of blossomed for the fact that you were looking for that footage, and he asked if anyone wanted to be in the video. I volunteered, and we danced for 2 hours to 500 miles doing silly dances so you could have some footage. But I don't think anyone has ever seen that footage or that video, and I wouldn't be upset if it stayed that way, honestly. But yeah,
we didn't have enough footage for HypeTrain. I don't know if we wanted to show a bit of HypeTrain 2020 here. I did a video. I called it HypeTrain 2020 as kind of a way to boost morale during COVID and everybody not seeing each other. So I wanted to do a repeat of that. We didn't get as many videos, but I'm here, man. I mean, do you guys want to see another HypeTrain 2021? Like, if you do, put it in the comments because I'll do it. I still have that footage. I will release the footage. Yeah, that would be
so. So I think that is going to be our catchphrase for our next Dart Zone solo. Section, not the live chat section, but in the comment section, and type in the catchphrase HypeTrain. So, friendly reminder, don't post the catchphrase in the live chat, but you're going to want to comment on the live stream video comment section, the catchphrase HypeTrain. So, and I know we can't hear you at home, but if we could all collectively on 3 say HypeTrain, I'm sure we'll feel the vibes. 1, 2, 3. HypeTrain! So I know we're out of time. That's how life goes. But there are just a couple things I wanted to talk about before we head out. Comp play. How did you get involved in competition play?
Oh, that footage is great. That's the first time you've seen this footage. So that was with Team Paradox, right? So in 2019. If the Foam Pro Tour was coming to be a thing, and I really had no interest for comp. I was like, oh, I don't know if I would be good at it.
Stay in bounds, Justice. Stay in bounds.
And then Spectre N7, we're very close. He wanted to give it a try, and there was this guy Shaggy. The two of them really wanted to do it. And so they were like, Archer, you should get on board. And so I did, and I was just like, okay, I'm following Spectre's lead. I'll go with this and see what happens. And the next thing you know, Milan Devil Z is coming into the fold, and then Beret was the last, because individually we all wanted to try it. And then, we kind of came together and we were like, wow, we are from 5 different time zones across like 3 countries. this should be fun. And I borrowed Spectre's FDL because I didn't have anything of high enough FPS at the time, and we did surprisingly well. We were Team Paradox. Paradox has competed in 3 tournaments now. Check out our most recent jerseys. Look at that fun swagger. Yeah, we competed in 2019. The ADL 3v3, one of my favorite tournaments. That was a great time. And then obviously Q2 with FPT 2022. Zelkos, he hadn't done competitive at all. He didn't know what it was, and then he got involved with Paradox, and now obviously he and Rogue Contra, they both run TNT events. And it was really great, and I've been really having a great time with it. As far as other teams goes, Paradox is my home, and if the guys want to run a team, I will throw this jersey on in like half a second, but it's sometimes a challenge because we all are so spread out. Right. So getting the guys together to come and compete and not have other alliances, it can be hard. So I kind of juggled around with like different teams. I know I ran with the A team at BPOC. That was a great time. We just wanted to run together, but I was a sub for them. That wasn't anything like official. And then at the end of this year, right, I kind of had announced you had major announcement about MFT. And I was like, all right, I'm doing, but I was okay, we'll see what happens. And Jesse had reached out, and he had already reached out several times over the year, right? And after that, I was just kind of like, you know what, this man is persistent. You know what, these guys are my friends. It's not like I don't see them regularly all the time anyway. And now I am a proud member of, Magic Vapor and Mystic Smoke. So it should be, I'm really excited. The footage that you just saw was one of our practices, and it's really great. I've been getting to understand the synergy that they have. I want to up my game as well. It's inspiring me to, really get to know this meme machine that I got here, is SBF. Hang on. Tell me you can hear that.
I'm not sure. It just looks like you're bobbing your head.
No surprise being me. I have the SBF is to never gonna give you up.
That's great. That's fantastic.
I can meme everyone I see. I was trying to do the tune-up, and I just looked a little silly.
That's awesome.
But I'm excited though. It's another jersey. It's a whole other adventure, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Well, welcome to the Magic Smoke Mystic Vapor team. I will live vicariously through you, since I won't be able to compete, since I will be helping run the event, the tournament this year, as I did last year. So, but yeah, that should be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to see you compete with those people. Let's see. We're kind of running out of time.
Sure.
What events are you looking forward to attending in the near future, in this coming up year, 2024?
Well, I have to put PA Survival Fest on the radar because it's
Survival Fest now.
It's Penn State, like
it is. Yeah, I guess technically it still is Pennsylvania Survival Fest, but so Survival Fest 2024 at Penn State.
I have that Sub-Zero because that's going to be a great learning experience for me. MFT, of course. Rag, because I wanted to go this year, didn't work out. Life, but next year, like I am so hell-bent on going, and I just I don't know how that's gonna come about or whatever, as far as like teams and how I'm gonna be planning all that out. It's just, we're talking like October, but no, like I'm incredibly stoked for it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. All of our guys came home, and I'm sure they've told you all the different adventures from the West Coast, and that's one of those places where I haven't gotten to nerf out there yet, and I need to do that. So I'm excited.
For sure. Got to represent that Beast Coast.
Beast Coast.
If you are watching the live stream, go ahead and comment down in the live chat. Which events are you looking forward to in 2024? Almost done, but where do you see yourself in the foam flinging community in the future, Archer?
I see myself running events, right? Hopefully with the United Nerf Ops. Been really learning from those guys. I want to really kick off my new content. I have a new podcast coming up, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if we have time on here, but I want to get into like my first couple of seasons with that. Hopefully, I'll actually have a house, right, within a couple of years to host more Nerf nerds. Just bring everyone for the hype. And yeah, I want to engage in more public speaking, any chance to hype people up and pretty much tell my story. That's the thing that I'm really striving for. It's all about, learning and growing together and just really helping each other out, like how do we, make ourselves not only better nerfers, but better people, because that's what it's all about. So
Absolutely. Where can people find you?
people can find me. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on the Facebooks. On YouTube and Instagram, I go by Archer the Nerfer. You're going to see regular updates of my content. I have a podcast that's coming out.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm so sorry. That
Okay,
was
cool.
important.
Great. Awesome.
Let's talk about the
Yeah.
podcast real quick.
Yeah.
Podcast name is...
Fast Track.
There we go. Fast Track.
Here, play the clip.
Talk a little bit about Fast Track.
Hello and welcome to the HBC podcast.
We'll play the clip.
Archer is the conductor of the Endor HypeTrain.
Archer's fantastic. I definitely
So
consider a friend.
Fast Track
hold the line
is
against the other
a
team.
podcast
It
that
was
is
very cool.
kind
You
of
just want to make content.
just
have
a culmination
backbone.
of my
You win.
experience
All that
within
time
the
and
Nerf
energy,
hobby.
just so
But
happy, so
with Fast
grateful
Track
to have been there to
specifically, I want to
experience
talk about
this.
the new roles that have cropped up over the past, couple of years within our hobby and how it allows us to grow and continue in the growing success that we have of our hobby. There are a lot of roles that I find that didn't exist a few short years ago, and I feel that they don't get the spotlight that they deserve. So, for example, I know for FPT, Andrew, I'm sure you know this, and several others within, the chat, rules and refs was a big thing, right? Understanding your rules and having enough refs. Why are refs important? Not something we had to worry about just a few years ago. Some other roles, I find that coaches, right, for FPT, right, FPT, some of the bigger tournaments, it wasn't really a position that people took seriously before. And now it's like, all right, you should probably have a coach, someone to kind of like guide you and be like, hey, you should be doing this, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes it can make or break where you stand in a tournament, right? Why do we need venue officials? Why are people who've been doing this longer than I have, 15 years? Why do their perspectives matter, right? So with Fast Tracked, I'm taking these roles and I want to have that sit down discussion with folks who provide those perspectives of these new roles that they've either always been a part of or accidentally stumbled into, and sharing their knowledge and their perspectives to the hobby at large, right? With me being I feel like I'm the face of, women in the Northeast, right? We did it here, like my perspective of, women within the hobby. I want to have a sit down discussion with various women across the country and hopefully across the world to share audibly our experiences within the hobby. I am very excited for that episode, by the way. But yeah, if you're a organizer, especially, I want to make this a podcast for people to use as a reference in making your clubs and organizations better. Because we're already on that track, right? We're already in this renaissance of just awesomeness, right? And I want to make something audible towards making that better.
Very cool. And where and when can we expect to be able to listen to Fast Track?
Fast Tracked, I'm editing the episode. I'm kind of just explaining what it is and how it works. I'm looking to have the first 3 episodes out by the end of the year.
Fantastic. And it'll be on Spotify, or where can people find it?
It's going to be on Spotify. Spotify, I'm going to have my own Instagram, and then I'm going to have it as one of those sub channels to my YouTube channel.
Very cool. Excellent. So now, where can people find you?
Now people can find me on YouTube and Instagram as Archer the Nerfer. I also can be found on Facebook, and then obviously Fast Tracked, as you know, is going to be YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify.
Fantastic. Excellent.
And can I make
absolutely.
one other shout out because I got to make this known to all you not East Coast people. East Coast, Beast Coast. Woo!
Closing remarks. Any last words you'd like to say, Archer?
I think I just did.
Oh, that was it. Okay. Works for me. So really appreciate everyone joining us this evening for this episode of The Foam Zone. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week will be the next episode of Get Off My Lawn with Captain Xavier and Al the Geek, and their guest will be Pew. And then we'll be returning the following week. And my next guest will be, some of you may know him as the Foam Juggernaut, a.k.a. RJ. And also hopefully Bree will be on there as well. Also, please don't forget, we will be doing a 24-hour live stream on December 9th and 10th, Foamsgiving, with all your favorite Nerf tubers and personalities, modders, so definitely check that out. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. So once again, really appreciate you guys. I'm so sorry. One last thing is we will announce the winner of the catchphrase giveaway. Again, friendly reminder to comment down in the comment section, not the live chat section, but the comment section, the catchphrase HypeTrain, and we will announce the winner on the next episode of the Foam Zone in 2 weeks when we have Foam Juggernaut, aka RJ and Bree, on here. So again, thank you for joining us, and always remember to dart sweep. And thank you, Archer.
Bye, guys. Thank you.